Why is that not working? Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to THFC Till I Die, the home of Tottenham past, present, and hopefully a fantastic future. And with me on the greatest show on YouTube to date is my YouTube co-host, the one and only, the Godfather himself, Mr. Philip Brady. Philip, how are you this evening, sir, or this afternoon, sir?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Just getting into the mood now for Saturday, which is becoming a very, 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 very important game for us against Aston
It
Villa.
is. It is very, very start. Now, Philip, I want to start with a bit of breaking news, if I can. The breaking news I have is actually about Tottenham and the director of football and the management for the new manager. And apparently, I've been hearing, Philip, there's a meeting taking place in the next few days. So hopefully, have something then. I put that last
Yes.
bit in myself, but there is a meeting going to take place in the next few days about the new manager, about the director of football. Do you think we could get an announcement before the end of the season?
I think we need to be honest, or very
Yeah.
close to the end of the season. I also heard this morning too that maybe this may be related to what you're talking about. There is that the Napoli, who just won the Italian league, the
Hmm.
Napoli director of football, Cristiano Guintoli, is also supposed to be in the frame for the director of football job.
Yeah, I heard
Now,
that as well.
I haven't heard of the guy before, really. I don't really follow Italian football that much. But if Napoli have won the league after 32 years or something like that, he's obviously done a good job at the club. So maybe that's why he's become a little more high profile. So let me see
Well,
what happens.
he got Mr. Burger King to play. To be
Well,
fair,
that if he can do that, he can do anything. Jesus, bring him on quick.
could you? Yeah,
He probably had a way of adjusting Ndombele's sat nav that when he put in Burger King, it brought him to a health food shop or something, you know.
it's true. And also very quickly, Philip, on the Milan derby last night, we were talking about it earlier, and
Yeah, I mean, my God, how the hell did that lot beat us? I
I
mean,
know,
Jesus,
I know.
Inter Milan should have been 4-0 up inside 10 minutes, and
Yeah,
nobody could have complained. Okay, I know Macy steadied the ship a little bit
mm,
more, but I mean, the defense was absolutely brutal. And I can't help thinking if Antonio Conte had just been a little bit more adventurous
mm,
in that second leg at home, we would be playing Inter Milan last night.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's the
That's so
sad
true.
thing about it. I mean, they were brutal. But
Mm.
just one, a little aside to that, this is quite interesting. Did you notice that Inter Milan had no sponsor's name on their shirts last night?
Yeah, I did.
Right. Well, it appears that they've signed a £75 million or euro deal with a blockchain company called Digital Bits a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
But Digital Bits have not paid up. So they protested last night by leaving their names off their shirts.
fair
So
play to them.
there you are now. It's the right way to do it.
Yeah. Just want to welcome a few people in the chat. Want to big up Elicious, big up Dermot and Philip. Looking
Hi,
to
Ellie.
all the latest news and the greatest interaction with you all in the chat. Big up Ellie. We've got Mia saying howdy as she
Howdy, Mia.
rides through the town looking for trouble somewhere as
And
the
Christian
sheriff.
Romero.
Yeah, a little bit. I've always described Mia as probably Miss Ellie out of Dallas. Do you know what I mean? She'd be that sort of character. That's how I would
I
describe
think you're
Mia.
more like Sue Ellen, but anyway.
Oh, that's up to
Hopefully, Mia doesn't know what Dallas was, but anyway, carry on.
yeah, carry on. Yeah, yeah. You've just said your own funeral.
Yeah, I think I'm just watching one here at the minute. So there you go. Carry
Oh
on.
Jesus! I forgot. All right, we've got Carl Higgins. Big up, guys. Says how pal faces. If you're being the Cowboys, I'm going to be the Indians. Apparently Mia says, well, I've got my eye on you as sheriff around these parts. I'm taking no funny business. Well, that's you off to prison then, Philip. Big up Alan Shelby. He says afternoon, everyone. Big up Alan. Carl Higgins says good afternoon. We've got David Clark. He said the Champions League will end up with 3 round robin sets before getting 4 semi-finalists. So it will be a mirror image of mirroring the NFL. Yeah, we are going to go into that, David. This is what the podcast is actually about tonight, which we're going out tonight. We're going to pre-record it later for it to go out this evening. It's about the Champions League, and basically, is the Champions League the new Super League? And I have got a poll in the chat, which I will be going to in a minute. We've got Jim Boxwell, Spurs Till I Die. He says, hi, Dom and Philip. Hope you're both well, my friends. Tottenham Till I Die. Big up, Jim. And I hope you and your other half, Kate, are doing very well. Big up, Carl. We've got Mayor. If we get Nagelsmann, would be a German and Italian mix. Be a good one. We'll get into that in a minute, Mayor.
Mussolini and Hitler. Carry on. I never said that. Go on, carry on.
I can't get it out of my head. Fucking hell. Oh,
Dear.
Jesus.
Anyway,
I go away, shows run lovely. I come back, it just goes to pieces.
you can't beat a bit of anarchy.
No, that's true. That's true. Big up, Kate. She says, afternoon, gents. Big up, Kate. Hope you're doing well. And you and Jim are both fine. We've got Tom THFC. These meetings needed to be done 2 weeks ago. Levy's a joke way behind. I sort of agree with you.
Yeah, that's it.
I know, Philip. I used to watch yourself. I used to like you watch yourself.
Oh dear. Right. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we could say you're a bit of JR then. That's who you're a bit like, Philip.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Okay. Wembley one afternoon, guys. Hugo off to Saudi. Former Q to drive him to the airport. Yeah. I think there would be a few there.
Well, in all fairness, I mean, I know we're giving out about Hugo and his last few performances this season or whatever, but like when the guy leaves, he deserves a good round of applause from us because he has been a good goalkeeper for us, and I wish him luck. He's getting 300 grand a week going to Saudi, so I mean that's where all good footballers go. It's like a rest home for them out there. So good luck to him. Let him earn his retirement money.
Afternoon, all in the chat. Ellie says you're all here for the late. Yeah, we've said that all now. Alan Shelby says the company went bust midway through the season, according to BT Sports, hence no sponsors. I'm sure. Kate saying, we're good. Thanks, lovely. Big up, Kate. It's great to see you and Jim in the chat. We've got Ellie saying, yeah, I see Mia Moore as Hilda.
Oh, Lord. Ellie, I'd stay away from Dover for the next 6 months if I was you after that comment.
Just very quickly, Philip, could you just explain Ellie's comment here for people that don't watch?
For those of you who have a younger disposition, right?
Like
Hilda
myself.
Ogden was a character in Coronation Street from about the 70s to the 90s, right? She walked around all day with curlers, with a hairnet, and with a scarf over her head, and she had a voice like a foghorn, and she had a husband called Stan who was completely put upon, but they were a great comedy character, But Mia will not take too kindly to be compared to Hilda Ogden. I can assure you of that.
Yeah. Just very quickly, Dave, I knew he was Austrian. He was actually in the Austrian army in the First World War.
He was, but he was a ruler of Germany. That's what I was getting at. Yeah.
And also, he actually lied about the medals he got in the First World War as well. Yeah.
Right. And his brother worked as a waiter in a hotel in Dublin before the war as well.
And Mia says, yeah, and we all know what happened to JR, Philip. Actually, that's a good question for the chat. Who remembers who shot JR?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Just so you know, we are Box L, not Box Well. Oh, okay. Sorry. My apologies. I do apologize. Ellie, I don't know. I can be a bit hard, but ask nicely. And FTS have Colin, big up Colin, and then we've got Ben at the bottom. Good afternoon, purple gold to Tottenham. So yes,
where's the purple and gold gone? We need to put it back up again.
Oh yeah, we do, and also purple and gold for Wexford. Please don't forget my county. I am a member of the Wexford Tourism Board, so there we go. Please all come to Wexford if you come to Ireland on holiday. Just bypass Leitrim because J.R. Ewan lives up there, and he might try to sell you something, right?
Yeah.
Colin said it was me. I did it. She went, that's fine. It's bloody. It's a bloody wealthy rest home in Saudi.
Yeah, that's it. That's all. Yeah, that's it. That's a good point by Mia there. Not by Mia, by Jim there about Hugo.
Yeah, Hugo has been great for us over the years. When we had good defense, he was immense. Let's mention where I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And Carl Hagan says, I fancy Hilda, but Stan kept getting in the way.
Jesus, you need to see a doctor, mate. I'll get your glasses changed, one of the
two. Corey Boy 85, big up. It says purple and gold on tuba. So yeah. Mia, also I watched a video about a soldier who came face to face with Hitler when he was young, and he begged to be allowed to go. Obviously,
that's actually true.
Yeah,
that's a true story. The British soldier, if he'd have shot him then, there might not have been a Second World War. It shows you how one decision can affect the whole of the world.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, we've got one of them called Putin.
Oh, and Donald Trump last night. My God.
Yeah. Anyway,
Unbelievable.
let's not go down to that. Anyway, Philip, let's talk about football. That's what we love, and that's what we talk about. And I want to start with a little bit, Philip, on this new Champions League format. Now, this is the new format here, Philip. We will go into depth with this tonight, and the money behind this is absolutely mind-boggling. It really is mind-boggling. But the new Champions League football from to 24-25 season is 36 teams instead of 32. New spots for elite clubs that fail to qualify. One league instead of groups. Best 8 reach the knockouts. Other teams don't qualify through new round of playoffs. Every club guaranteed 10 games, increasing revenue. Philip, very quickly, I don't want to talk too much on this because of the podcast tonight, and I want to really get your thoughts on this tonight. In my opinion, right, has UEFA bowed down to the Super League?
Yeah, it's like Super League light, this really, isn't it? It's Super League coming through the back door by just increasing the number of Champions League games. Now, there's one, it looks that way. It does look that way. And one thing I can't understand here, if there's only going to be one league, right, and you have 36 teams in that one league, how do you pick which 10 matches you play? How's that going to be worked out? You know, when you're in the league, you play everybody twice and that's it. But if you have 36 teams in the league, technically, that means you're playing 35 games by 2. So it's not been done in a league, but it is a league basis. But how they're going to work it out, I just do not know.
I don't know.
Is it going to be seeded? Is it going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4? Like 1 plays 4 or 2 plays 3 or something like that? You know, I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see how that's actually put into action, because I can see a lot of pushback from some of the clubs there on that.
Yeah, but when we go into it tonight, Philip, and you see the money's involved, I don't think there will be a lot of pushback.
Yeah, maybe not.
But that is for tonight. Look, my thing is, it is the Super League in all but name.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
I think UEFA have bound down to the likes of Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juventus, the Italian clubs.
Isn't it funny how those 3 clubs you've mentioned, Dermot, are the 3 clubs that are in the most financial problems?
Yeah,
and that's no coincidence now, by the way.
It's not. It isn't. But on the flip side to that, Philip, we also know that the Premier League will have 5 teams qualifying for the Champions League from next season for the Champions League for the following season. So, look, we will all go into that tonight. Me and Philip, I think Mia's joining us as well as a guest on this. And I would love to, this is going to be really good talking points, because I've made some questions about this, and I think it's terrible, Philip, and I think football has died completely. But look, for me,
it's going to diminish the Premiership. It's going to diminish the impact of the Premiership.
Yeah,
because teams are going to be playing weakened teams in the Premiership to make sure they get the big bucks in the Champions League next week. You know?
Yeah, and also I've got a poll in the chat, Philip. Is the new Champions League format the new Super League? 69% say yes, 31% say no. Only 13 votes. So please get your views in, get your votes in there. And Philip, also very quickly, if you are around, please get your memberships and your super chats. The chat's a bit mad tonight, so if you want to jump ahead, please make it super chat. It does help the channel grow. And also, if you want to pick up a membership as well, because we're looking to get to 15 members to start our own members only fan show. So we're only 5 away, so we need 5 more members. So they're only cheap, $2.99, and you can pick one up. It's cheaper than Netflix or cheaper than Paramount Plus or Disney Plus, and you get more for your buck. You know, on this channel with myself, Philip Brady, and the Queen Ellie Hoybier, and also me, your guest hosting as well. Philip, we've got a question here from Colin. It says, question for you both. All in the chat. The young United player Mason Greenwood will be leaving United because of what happened not so long ago. How would you guys feel if Spurs took an interest in him? No way. No way. No. I don't.
I think we've got a moral high ground to stake here. Like, we look at the likes of Manchester City with Mendy. They suspended him when he was brought into question for his activities. United did the same with Greenwood, right? Our friends down the road let Thomas Partey walk away as if nothing had happened, which I find absolutely revolting. So I don't want anything to do. No offense to the guy. I know he was actually proved innocent of the charges, but the fact I've seen the video, so that's enough for me. I don't want him anywhere near the club.
No, I don't. Joe says a hard no. Big up, Joe. Great to see you in the chat, sir. It's great to see. We've got a few new people. David Clark said Kirsten Shepherd. Spot on.
Yeah, that's right.
Spot on.
David, you're showing your age there, boy.
And he says, I watched every episode of Dallas. I was hooked. Look,
but didn't we all? I mean, Sunday night was closed. Nothing happened in Ireland on a Sunday night when Dallas was on. It was just, God Almighty, if everything was sacred for Dallas. Everything was dropped for Dallas.
Everything was. We got audio. What's that surname, Philip? Can you?
Audio Artisan.
Big up. It says, big. I haven't seen the chat, so big up for coming in. It says the Champions League should be run like the FA Cup. Every game is a knockout round. Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's how the old European Cup was run out, wasn't it? Two legs, you're out.
2 legs, and that was it. You're gone.
Corey Boys says a team to get fifth is so backwards. It also goes down to that country's
coefficient.
Yeah. So if England isn't good, as they say, Spain or Italy. Now, I think England, Spain, Italy, Germany,
and France, maybe.
France, they all get extra spots in the Champions League. And then it works out for them.
Well, that stands to reason because they are the top leagues in the country. There's no point giving someone in the Slovenian league or the Azerbaijan league or something an extra spot, But you've got to give it to the top leagues. So I think the Premiership should be getting at least one spot there.
Yeah. Ben says, I'm the founder of the International Wexford to Tottenham Tourism. Big up, Ben. Oh, dear. We will be in touch. We saw what he did, so only innocent as the girl didn't press charges.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's it. Yeah.
Ellie's saying no way we should stay clear of Mason Greenwood column. What did he? Excusable, and he paid off his girlfriend to drop the charge. Yeah, he did. Alan Shelby, he said he will go abroad.
Yeah.
Column saying also, I just wanted to get your views on it, as I know there's a London-based club who may be looking at him, and the fans of that club ain't too concerned.
We know who that is. Then we know who that is.
Well, there's
Arsenal.
two.
It has to be Arsenal. Has to be Arsenal. Yeah.
All about money.
Didn't want Party to feel alone, so they can compare notes.
Oh Lord God! Right, all about money. Players play too many games. Yeah, exactly. We were going into that. And then we got Jim saying Champions League want to matter to us, gents. We won't be in it. Well,
not this season, but you never know what'll happen next year.
No,
we can but hope.
Right, Philip. Normally once a week we do this, so we are going to do Line Watch. So I have got an intro for that. It's only a little short intro. So here's the intro, and we'll get talking about the players that are on loan from Tottenham Hotspur. There you go. A little bit of jazz on the Friday afternoon. Keep you going. Right, Mr. Jed Spence. Now, he's been at Rennes now, Philip. In January, the England under-20 international went out on loan to Rennes and made 9 consecutive starts with some success. Notably, the eye-catching performance against Messi and Mbappe in that last month. The return of Rennes' captain from injury, though, will make the game time more difficult for Spence. Spurs now will want the new manager to have the proper look at Spence and how the 22-year-old adjusts his back to a back four. But Philip, Conte did say at the very start of this that he was a club signing. What do you think is going to happen to Jed Spence? Loan,
I don't know.
Sell, or keep?
I don't know. I mean, the fact now that we've bought Pedro Porro for the same type of position, we've got Emerson Royale, is there as well. We're well covered on that particular side. I would say the guy will not get a chance to prove himself at Tottenham, and I have a feeling we might sell him.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think he will do, Philip.
There's no offense to the lad. I'm sure he's a great player, but he's been the victim of circumstance, really.
Yeah, he has. But, I think so we're both agreeing. Sell.
Yeah, sell.
Okay, sell. Right, we're going to Joe Roden. Joe Roden has had a mixed time at Rennes. He also went to Rennes since arriving last summer. He was a regular starter as the side rose to high in La Liga 1, but fell out of team as the unused substitute in the 6 games in a row before at the weekend. The Welshman has been left out of the squad entirely, with the boss Bruno Gigesso preferring to put an 18-year-old academy youngster ahead on the bench ahead of him. This is another player I think that needs to go, Philip. It hasn't worked out. He's not good enough. So would you agree with me? He's one for the shopping board?
He can't even get a game with Rennes, so no, he's got to go as well, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Again, he's been brilliant for Wales. I really think he has, but no, he's not. I think he's one of the players that Mourinho wanted to bring in Skriniar or the likes of that, and he got Rodon instead. So
I know.
Yeah,
it is shocking. It really is. Destiny. I can't pronounce the surname.
Destiny Udogie.
Thank you, Udogie. Right, it took me a while to get Højbjerg around my mouth. That's going to take me another while to get around that one. Destiny has been a regular starter for Udinese, and he probably have done the same for Spurs if the Italian side had not insisted that he was loaned back to them as part of the deal to sign him last summer.
Yeah.
So the 20-year-old was named Udinese Player of the Month for February and has made 26 appearances this season for the Serie A side, scoring 3 goals and laying on 3 assists. Destiny will be expected to make a big push to Spurs starting at the left back with the position very much up for grabs. Philip, starter?
Absolutely. Straight into the team.
Yeah.
Straight into the team, no messing.
No.
That guy is going to him with Udogie on the left and Porro on the right.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, we can make hay next season without that pairing.
Oh, we can. We really will. Next one.
As long as we have centre backs in the middle that can back them up.
Next one, Harry Winks. Right. Harry Winks missed the first half of the season with an ankle problem that required surgery, but he has made 11 consecutive 90 minutes appearance since a struggling Serie A side, Sampdoria, who now have been relegated.
That's right.
He's only got a year left in his contract, Philip. It's more than likely that the 27 academy will move on next summer.
Yeah.
Where do you think he might end up? Do you think Sampdoria might buy?
I'd say he might. No, I say Sampdoria now. The fact they've been relegated, they won't want. They'll be trimming their staff rather than adding to it. So I would say he'll probably end up going to one of the bottom half of the Premiership clubs or Championship side, but he won't be at Tottenham next season.
No, he won't be. Right, next on the loan list is Mr. Now, this one is I had to put this on the three different pages because it was
he is a big lad now.
He had to go across 3 pages, this fella. Right. Stay off the Burger King, man. To be fair to him, Philip, he is a Serie A league champion.
And so is Pierre Collini as well, the other goalkeeper we had on loan, the two of them. Yeah.
2 of them. So where do we end up? Look, I'm not going to go through this just very quickly. He's made 35 appearances and has played his part, mostly from the bench in Napoli's charge towards the Serie A title with 2 goals, 1 assist, often playing in a deeper role. Now, it goes on and on. But the last bit for me, Philip, is... Hang on, where is it? Last bit for me. Napoli have an option to sign him for 30 million euros and a suggestion that there might be a clause which makes it an obligation to buy if Syria had qualified for the Champions League football, which they are about to do for next season. It's not believed to be correct. So where do you think he will end up, Philip?
Well, I did read somewhere that Napoli were looking to sign them on a free transfer.
Yeah.
So that thing about 26 million, an obligation to buy, isn't true at all.
No.
He'll to be honest with you, we're probably going to take the greatest haircut in Spurs history on this guy.
Yeah.
We paid 45, 50 million for him, and we'd probably be lucky to get anything for him. I think we should just cancel his contract and go to Napoli and earn his keep there because he has done nothing for Tottenham really, and he's an annoyance to have hanging around. He's like a bad smell in the phone box. You just won't, just get rid of him. Get rid of him.
We've got a few people in the chat, so I just want to get these very early, saying Joe Roden maybe take up golf with Gareth.
He could be his caddy.
Ben Coffin said we signed Roden instead of Kim Min Jae.
Exactly.
Yeah. Colin said sending players abroad is always a risk. Personally, I think they should stay in England and play in the low leagues. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
David Clark says Destiny will be a star. He will
Yeah,
be a star for
absolutely,
Spurs.
absolutely.
We've got Tom THV says, sorry for Spence. Why did we buy him? And we will get
Good
into
question.
that.
Good
We
question.
will get into that. And then we've got Alan Sherbley. Nombele has the talent, but he doesn't apply himself. Get rid as soon as possible. And David Clark's the same. I will play Nombele in a very forward role. In fact, that far forward, he'll be in Italy.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't play behind the goal as a ball boy either.
So, Philip, what are we doing? Keep, sell, loan.
Get rid of ASAP.
Okay.
Sell or give away.
Yeah. So Spence, Roden, Nombele, Spence,
We're
Roden.
not keeping too many at the moment.
No, hang on. Spence, Roden, Winks, Dombele,
all gone.
And then we're keeping Destiny. Right.
Destiny, yeah.
Mr. Lo Celso. Now, Lo Celso is actually an interesting one because he's both the player who Spurs could potentially get the most money for as a transfer, but also the player the next Spurs manager might want to take a really good look at first. The 27-year-old Argentinian is a regular starter for his country, only missed the World Cup due to injury, which was fragmented his loan at Villarreal. Now, with Bentancur not likely to be back until November, does that mean, Philip, we may keep him around to then, just in case we need him for that middle of the park job?
I happen to like Lo Celso. I think he hasn't really got going at Spurs, so I would actually keep him. I think he'd be a great squad player to have. He's creative. He's done very well in Spain since he went out there, and I would certainly keep him. I mean, you don't walk into the Argentinian first team as a regular starter without having something about you. So I would keep him.
Yeah. Please, everyone, hit that like button. We've only got 9 likes. Let's get it up to 15 or 20. Come on, let's do it. We know we can do it. So please hit that like button. It helps with the algorithm. David Clark, 15 squad players need to go. Yeah, exactly. And Corey says, I like Gio. Look, in my opinion, Philip, I agree with you. I think we need him for next season. As much as we all shout for him to go, I think if Bentancur's not back until November, we're going to need.
And look how much we missed him. Look how much we missed Bentancur.
Yeah, we really have missed him. So let's also keep, sell, or loan.
Yeah, keep.
Okay, I'm agreeing with you. Brian Gil Messi. This is going one way for me. I'm saying it now. We're keeping him.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he's got so much talent, this young lad. He really has.
Yeah, he has. At just 22 years of old, time on his Tottenham side when it comes to Brian Hill, the young Spaniard showed some little glimpses of what he can do this season in a Spurs shirt before heading out on loan to Seville, where he has plenty of minutes and recalled to senior Spain squad. It feels like Gil is a natural drawn back to playing in Spain through, and if Spurs do get a good bid for him, they may well be tempted. However, with the contract until 2026, they have time if they want to give him yet another season away to develop. Yeah. So do you think he could be put up again on loan next season?
It's possible. I think a lot will depend on our transfer business during the next couple of months. It's possible he may go out on loan again, but I would certainly keep him on the books because there will be a time when Brian Hill will be a star for Tottenham.
Yeah. If Nagelsmann comes in, you may see him staying at Spurs.
But that's the thing, you see. It's a bit like, it's a bit like Lo Celso. If Lo Celso is Nagelsmann's type of player, then he'll stay. He'll want that type of player there. We just don't know until. This is why it's so important. The DOF and the manager situation is sorted out ASAP.
Yeah.
To make sure that we have a maximum time for him to go through the squad, see who he wants to keep, see who he wants to put in a car boot sale, and who he wants to loan out. So it needs to be done as soon as possible.
Yeah. So are we keeping, loan, or sell?
I would say this season probably a loan, but certainly not sell.
I'm going for keep. I'm going to keep him in the squad.
I'd like to keep him, but I just don't think. I have a feeling he might be in the loan spell.
Maybe. Anyway, we will see. Right, Reguilon. Reguilon has had a nightmare on loan with Atletico Madrid. Has not started a single La Liga match this season, having an injury problems and a stomach issue at one point that saw him hospitalized. He has played just 84 minutes in competitive this season across 4 matches. Now, with the left back spots, one of our most sort of we need to look at, Philip. With Destiny coming in and Reguilon, would you keep him as a backup to Destiny?
I would. Yeah, I like Reguilon. I like him. I think he's a good player. been unfortunate with injuries. And again, he came into a system maybe that didn't suit him too much, or I don't know what happened to him really. But the fact, okay, look at it this way. We could have 3 wing backs on the right-hand side in Spence, Emerson Royale and Porro. We've got Odoji on the left, and you've got Sessegnon as well, right? I don't think we'll have Perisic next season. So yes, I would keep Reguilon as a backup. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, and Ben said Gil needs the weekly trip to Raleigh to get some food. Oh, Lord. Well, that is so funny. Good on you. Well done, Ben. Right, Troy Parrott now, Philip. We're going to the young Irish striker.
This is awkward.
You know, for me, look, I'm going to have my opinion on this. He rarely is. For me, it's been a travesty what's happened to him. He's had the potential, he's had the skill, and he's just hasn't used it. Yeah. And I think we've given them chance after chance after chance. Even we've given them a chance as the main striker for Ireland. It hasn't worked out for him. I think it's time to cut losses, let him move on, start somewhere else. But what a shame. He could have been really the next Harry Kane if he actually applied himself to it.
Yeah. This one's I feel very strong or sad about this one now, to be honest, because I'd like for anyone that might know the story, Troy Parrott is a young lad from the inner city in Dublin. And he has immense talent. He really has. He was the great white hope for us 2 or 3 years ago as an 18-year-old. But unfortunately, he got into the wrong company.
Yeah.
He started hanging around with members of a notorious criminal gang here in Dublin. And it kind of, I think he took his eye off the ball a bit like Dele Alli, if you like.
Yeah.
You know, he took his eye off the ball. He's gone out on loan a couple of times. He's never done that well. With Preston, he wasn't even getting the game for a while till he injured his knee. He was out there for 3 or 4 months. So I think there's another loanee coming up who I'll give a different response to. But I think it's time for him to go for his own career because he's getting nowhere at Tottenham.
I think so, Philip. Look, it really is a shame, isn't it?
It's a shocker. It really is. You know, it is.
And that one person is now walking around Dublin at the moment, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
That's for another show, but that's just mind-boggling.
Yeah, he would have been a neighbour of this guy's, you know.
Oh yeah, he would have been, and it's shocking to how young professional footballers can get influenced by people like these.
They're a magnet for that type of person. They've got money, they've got influence. They latch onto them like leeches. And in this case, they've sucked him dry. They've bled him dry now. He's what was a great talent 3 years ago is now kind of not washed up, but he'd be struggling to get a decent club.
Where do you think he could end up? Do you think a trip abroad might do him well?
No, I think he'll end up in the Championship. You know, because that seems to be about his level. You know.
Yeah, I think so. Right, Dean Scarlett, the big hope as well, the man to take over from Harry Kane. The change in manager at Portsmouth to John Moshew has not helped Dean Scarlett with little game time. The new man indicated that he thinks the 19-year-old should follow the Marcus Rashford route in playing off the flank rather than through the middle. The teenager has still scored 6 goals, registered 2 assists in 39 games across the League One this season. That will have developed him a lot. The new manager will take a close look at him as one of the academy's brightest talents, but with the loan deal until 2026, another season alone makes sense at his young age. And I have to agree with that, Philip.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I keep him. He's a bit like Brian Hill. He's got a long contract, so there's no rush. He's only 19, 20.
Yeah,
he was unlucky at Portsmouth because he was doing very well till they changed manager, and then the new guy didn't seem to fancy him too much. So he's one for the future. He's young enough. I'd say he could take the Harry Kane route, keep getting loaned out, and then he'll come back and he'll be good. So.
Yeah. So we're going for both loans.
Loan for him, yeah.
And then, sorry, let me bend that. And then for Troy Parrott, both going for sale, yeah.
Yeah,
I think so. And then the last one, of course, is Harvey White. Harvey's made 11 appearances for Derby in League One since arriving in January transfer window, being named in and out after starting 11, turning 22 in September. And with the contract reaching its last year, it's getting to that time when the decision will have to be made by all parties, or whether the club midfielder is too packed for him, despite his qualities to make the breakthrough. Look, Philip, I'm going to start very quickly on this. I think it's time for Harvey White to go and look for a new club somewhere else.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. I agree with you.
Yeah.
He's playing in the position that we have plenty of cover anyway, so I can't see him breaking through. So he's better off going off somewhere else.
Yeah, I think so. I really do. So look, there's Loan Watch. Really, Philip, a lot of we're looking to get rid of a lot of them. Really,
Yeah.
just a question, Philip. How do we get rid of them if clubs won't buy them?
Can't boot sale. Oh dear. Well, you'll always find there will be players. My problem is we're not going to get the value that we should be getting for them. Like Spurs have had a history over the years of selling off players cheaper than what they should have got for them, and I can see the same thing happening now. There's an expediency to get rid of them, just get them off the wage bill, and that will probably happen. We'll get a couple of million for White. We'll probably get 5 million for Paris. We'll probably get might get nothing for Ndombele. Seriously. So, I'd say we'd be lucky to take in maybe 10, 15 million for the whole lot of them.
Yeah. Colin's saying Scarlett has to do so much more to be even close to the reserves of Spurs, let alone the first team. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a learning curve for him. It's a learning curve. He will get there eventually.
Yeah. And then we've got David Clark saying, however, White would have broken into team by now if he was good enough. Exactly.
Yeah, that's it. That's
absolutely.
True, yeah.
Exactly. Philip, look. I know we're going to talk tonight about the Champions League and the podcast, but I want to get your thoughts very quickly on the money. Now, I know you told me this was long-winded. I agree with you. It is long-winded. I'm not going to read the whole lot of it out. But what I wanted to do, Philip, is take bits out of it for the money that's there. And I want to get your thoughts on it. Clubs involved in European top soccer competition will cash in even more next year, with the new Champions League format set to help deliver a 37% increase in TV money to 4.8 billion to 5.3 billion. A season for UEFA across all European competitions, although the Champions League money will be split between 36 clubs instead of 32 from the 24-25 season, which will mean a bigger payday for most. I am finishing, with some earning an extra £30 million, which is $38 million plus a season.
Yeah.
Now, and it's what's your thoughts on that to start with, Philip?
It's effectively creating a Super League.
Yeah.
Because the next paragraph there says what's going to happen there is the teams that are in the Champions League under the new format, right, are going to be so much richer than the teams not in Europe. In fact, I would include the Conference and the Europa League in that as well.
Yeah.
Those teams are going to be far richer than maybe the 15 teams in the league or 13 teams in the league or 12 teams that aren't competing in Europe. They are going to fall. So effectively, this is by stealth creating a Super League. It's the rest. It's 8 or 9 teams plus also rans, the rest of them, who will be struggling to keep going in some cases. Really, I can see that happening. Some teams are going to go to the wall. They're not going to be able to attract sponsorship because they're not in Europe. No. And I think it's a terrible idea, to be honest with you.
Now, look, Philip, it also goes on to say here at the bottom here, the UEFA Deputy General Secretary, Giorgino Manchetti, on Tuesday announced a forecast for the increased TV income from European competitions from €3.6 billion to €3.95 billion a season to between €4.6 billion and $5.4 billion and €4.8 billion.
That's $1.2 billion a year more.
Yeah. So is it a case, Philip, that the richest clubs are going to get... You said it to me in the background, and it's a very good point, that the likes of the 3 clubs that are struggling, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, the Italian teams are struggling. Yeah. Look, as I said, we will talk about this later in the podcast, but have we now created the Super League?
What's happened here is this has got Juventus, Barcelona, and Real Madrid's fingerprints all over it. It's like if I was a detective now, it wouldn't be too hard to find out who the guilty parties are because it's there in plain sight. They didn't get their way with the Super League the last time around. No. So it's taken them a couple of years to come up with this with the participation of UEFA, who are equally to blame for it, because UEFA, all they think about is pound signs or euro signs or dollar signs. And what they've basically done now is they're creating a 2-tier system in football. And I would not like to be in the second tier because it's only one way that's going, and that's down.
Philip, would it be all right with you for the next 10 minutes that we put the link in the chat and see if people want to come on and talk about the Champions
Yeah,
League
go on. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
and see what they have to say, because I would
Yeah.
love to know what people think of this. And look, for me, I think it is Super League all, and it's a
Well,
it's a Super League all
by the name.
by the name.
If you look at Column's comment there, Colum's comment sums it up completely. Just bring it up there.
I will come back to that, Lynn. I will come back. I'm going to start your comment because it's a very good comment. I want to come back to that. Go on. There's Columns. The Super League feels like it's being run by a Tory government, make the richer and leave the poorer in the.
Yeah, that's more or less it.
Yeah,
that's more or less
spot on.
it.
Spot on. Absolutely spot on. You couldn't put it any better.
It's just the way life is going at the moment. It just seems to be the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, and what I'd like to know is, like, is this Barcelona and Real Madrid? Like, Barcelona couldn't even sign players last summer till they let players go, right? And then if you go down to the other end of the scale, you've got the situation at Wigan, who haven't paid their players again this month.
Yeah.
So that's the two extremes that we're working at now.
Yeah.
If you're a Wigan player, I know the Wigan players aren't on big money, but I'm sure a lot of their mortgages have gone into arrears because the club hasn't paid them. Yeah. And I think it's terrible.
It is.
Absolutely awful.
It is. Lynn Simpson, the link is in the chat. If you want to come on and talk about the Super League or talk about anything we've talked about in the show, please do. The link's there for people to come on and have their say. So come on and let's hear what you got to say, because I would love to know what you think about this Super. Is it the Super League? All but name. Lynn Simpson says here, Philip, if you change manager, you need a manager who fits in at the level of Spurs, because bringing in an elite manager, Levy has to buy elite players to keep the manager happy. If not, next season will be the same. She makes a very good point.
Makes a good point. Yeah, it makes a good point. I think the manager that comes in has got to realise what he's working with, and that may or may not decide his decision and make up his mind whether he's coming or not. It's a good point, all right, but I think Levy will be looking at it. Levy will be looking at this Champions League thing with pound signs in his eyes.
Yeah.
So he will want to bring in a manager that gets us back into the Champions League to earn this big money. So this is the kind of the merry-go-round that we're on,
Yeah. We've got Kate as well, Boxell. I will get that name right. I do apologise. I keep murdering it. You're farewell to come on here and have a go at me. You're all in your rights too. I do apologise. Anyway, anyone still holding on, she says, on the tiny chance of Poch may return after it's gone. It's gone really quiet with the Chelsea deal. Philip, do you think there could be a sting in the tail with this Chelsea deal? Could Poch return to Tottenham?
Well, I mean, I've said all along, Pochettino must be mad in the head to even go near that club, Chelsea. I mean, it's a Billy Smart circus in a different name. That's all it is. With a chairman who's a ringmaster, And if Pity wasn't a lion tamer, he put his head in the lion's mouth. Anyway, no, I think Pochettino he probably will end up going to Chelsea, but I think he will regret it in 6 months' time, because he's going to go the same way Graham Potter went. Everyone thought Graham Potter was the great white hope for Chelsea. Look how that worked out. And there's no offense to Graham Potter. I'm sure he's a very good manager. But when you're working with a guy who hasn't a clue about football, like that Bowley fella has, you're not going to last. You're not. No. You're going to clash with him. You're going to disagree with him, and he's going to end up saying, "Sorry, this isn't working out. Where you go?" And that's what's going to happen to Pochettino. And that's you should avoid that like the plague. Whether he comes to Tottenham or not, do not go to Chelsea.
And again, I would just like to offer a congratulations on Chelsea surviving in the Premier League this season, and just last weekend confirming their Premier League status. We're all delighted for you. We think you thoroughly deserve it. No, we don't. You're a bunch of wallies.
Yes,
that's putting it politely.
Yeah.
Mia is saying, please smash the like, everyone. And Shaw's is saying, also grab a membership if you're able to support. It is very much. Thank you so much. Very kind of you to say that, Mia. David Clark, this act with the Champions League format will kill the pyramid in English football, with clubs outside this gentleman's league will struggle to survive.
Yeah, that's more or less what we've been saying all along there, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. And Philip, it is mind-boggling. I mean, I've got it worked out. They have to play 17 games to get to a Champions League final now. and they already played. I think, what did I work it out? Was it 13 or 12?
13, I think, at the moment.
13.
Yeah. But then again, that's taking into consideration the teams that go straight into the group stage. There could be 2 or 3 matches more than that to play through the qualifying groups before the group stage, if you know what I mean, for the clubs that don't qualify directly. So it's okay. Let's face it, a team that has to go into the qualify is unlikely to make it through the group stage anyway. But yeah, it's too many matches. It's taken away from the national leagues. It's taken away from the importance of the national leagues, and that should never happen.
No. And Colin as well. Thank you so much, Commies. It's like the stream and get your memberships if you can. If not, I will buy it and send you an Arsenal shirt.
Yeah, funny. I was just going to clean my windows. That was coming very handy, you know.
Ben says, Colin, I need some toilet paper, so I'll accept that. And he's saying, spot on. Historically, the ones who have done better in the Champions League will meet more.
Of course they will,
yeah.
Of course they will.
We've got Corey saying, it's a farce if you ask me. We're run like a circus. Why would an elite manager want to come to us? We've had 2 proven managers in Jose and Conte. Both of them called out the player problems and sacked. Look, the problems were the players. Let's call a spade a spade.
Harry Kane has more or less said the same thing this week. There's things not been done right in the dressing room. So, you know.
So on this then point, Philip, where do we go? What happens with the new manager? What's he have to do? What's on his number? I know I've asked this question before, but we've heard what Harry Kane's saying this week. We've heard what a lot of us are saying. What's he got to do?
Well, first of all, he's got to come in with his eyes open, right? No rose-tinted glasses that everything is perfect in the Tottenham Hotspur world. It ain't. By far away, it ain't. What he needs to do is, first of all, have the agreement of Daniel Levy, right? That he's going to replace. He's going to give Daniel Levy a dustbin list. These are the players I do not want at the club next season. Get rid of them for me, right?
Yeah.
Then he wants a list of players he wants at the club. Now, he might not always get the ones he wants, but he's got to go for the type of player that we need. 2 centre backs, a goalkeeper, a central midfielder, and a striker. We get those in of a suitable quality, then we're a team to be reckoned with next season. If we don't, we're going to struggle like we did this season.
Yeah.
And I don't want another season like that.
No.
The only thing is, I'm hoping that the manager that comes in plays football the Tottenham way.
Yeah.
Attacking, not sitting back waiting to be attacked. Because I don't think any of us could take another season of that. But that was mind destroying.
It was, Philip, and it was in a way. This season has been
difficult.
Torture. It's been torture. It's been torture. Big up though, Corey, for that. FT's column says Poch will be Chelsea boss. I don't think it will be announced till the end of the season. The deal is pretty much done. Fair enough. We have to see. We'll see. Lynn Simpson, someone like City will get the biggest chunk of this money. Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool, clubs like Newcastle, Spurs will start at the bottom and have a much harder time. I look, for me, I think Liverpool they'll get a big chunk of the money because of their history with the Champions League, European Cup. The likes of them, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, Bayern Munich, Manchester United. Who else, Philip? Am I missing that? AC Milan.
AC Milan, PSG, yeah.
PSG.
No, Tottenham will get a fair old chunk of it because our coefficient in Europe is pretty good.
So if I'm right, Philip, they're the teams that wanted the Super League, right?
Absolutely. This is it. It's so transparent. It's nearly funny at this stage. You know, it is Super League by another name.
Yeah, it is. And Kate goes, waha, and she goes, I feel like Mrs. Bouquet with my name. Look, I'm just going to call you Katie. That's it. I'm going to call you Katie. If that's all right with you, I'll just call you Katie. That's it. It's done then. I don't have to worry if that's okay with you. The thought of Poch at Chelsea makes me yeah. And then she says, if Levy wants a yes man, I'm not sure that Nagelsmann is better off. He's better off sticking with Mason. Yeah.
No, I don't agree. I don't think Mason. I think Mason will be good in the future, not just yet. Just the fact he's had a few good games does not make him suitable to the manager. And I think we want a proven manager. You know, hopefully
we do. Now, Philip, look, we very quickly though. I want to go over this format again with you. What do you think to that format of the new Champions League?
Well, again, I think you can't agree with any part of it because it means too many more matches. It means less emphasis on the National League, on this Premiership and the League Serie A and all this sort of thing. How they're going to work out the league basis, it's beyond me. With 36 teams, how are you going to pick 10 matches? Is it just going to be an open draw? That your matches are picked out for you, and we all know how that's going to work out. It'd be very surprise. Manchester City get Himalaya United, and Tottenham Hotspur get Juventus. That's, if you know what I'm coming from.
Yeah, I do.
So I think that's I don't like. I just don't like the whole emphasis on this whole thing is money for the rich clubs, and bugger the rest of you. You don't matter.
What do we need to do, Philip?
Well, actually, we do nothing. What can we do? The clubs that have the clout will be going for this. They didn't get the way with the Champions League. Now they're doing it by stealth. They're getting into the back door, and it'll be approved with glee and great delight in the clubs that need the money. The Juventuses and the Barcelonas and the Real Madrids. They've got their way. They had to wait a couple of years, but they've got their way.
And I just wondered, where was it going now? Kate says, that's fine. Calling the Katie. Grand. That's got me out of that trouble. Right, it's got me out of that little hole. Ellie says, no one's blaming the Spurs. Kane was so honest, and it came from his heart. He is our club legend, and I believe he is staying. Look, I think he's staying.
I think he's staying too, yeah. He's dropping all the hints,
Yeah,
I think what he's doing is he's dropping the hints to Daniel Levy. He's more or less saying, Daniel, you do what I like. You do what I want you to do in the summer, and I'm staying. But you don't do you go against what I'm thinking is a good thing for the club, and you won't see my heels for dust.
I asked a question the other day, Philip, and I'm going to ask you it because I never got to actually get a chance to ask you this. I'm going to ask you it now. Harry Kane's looking to get around £300,000 a week, new contract. That's what he's going to be offered.
That's fair enough.
Now, if he accepts that, Philip, and he keeps going on about trophies, and he might not win a trophy at Spurs.
Yeah.
Does he have the other thinking of, look, I just want to make as much money as I can before I retire?
Harry Kane might not have a trophy at Tottenham, but look at all the other personal achievements he's made.
Yeah.
Record goal scorer for Tottenham. Second highest scorer ever in the Premiership.
Yeah.
First player to score 100 goals away and at home in the Premiership. The guy is, to me, Harry Kane is not a fella that trophies mean 100%. So it'd be lovely, and he will get one before the end of his career. Hopefully, it's at Tottenham. But I think to offer Harry Kane 300 grand to stay at the club, I think that is money well spent. Money really. When you consider Lionel Messi is on $1 million a week.
Yeah.
Mbappe's on the same. Are they 3 times the player Harry Kane is? No. In fact, I would rate Harry Kane. I think Mbappe and Neymar especially. Neymar is the greatest fraud going.
Yeah.
Harry Kane is a good, honest guy, wears his heart on his sleeve, loves Tottenham, and wants Tottenham to be successful. And I hope that God he's there for the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. We've got Jim here saying, first thing the new manager has to do, Philip, is get rid of all the deadwood, not to waste the money on players like Ndombele, By-Class and fighters. Yeah,
exactly. That's all we want. That's all we want. Yeah.
Big up, Jim. I want to say also big up to Spurs Ninja. Nice to see you. I've never seen you before in the chat, so big up. Thank you for joining in. He goes, oi, big up, lads. Hope everyone is having a decent one. Yeah. We are grand. We've got Lynn Simpson here as well, Philip, saying, I think that Poch will struggle at Chelsea due to the egos that are there. Plus, if Bowley starts getting involved with buying players, etc., it would only end up in one way. Poch is going to Chelsea.
I hope he doesn't. For his own peace of mind. He doesn't deserve to go to work in an atmosphere like that. Where I know he worked with Egoville at PSG, but to be honest with you, I think Chelsea's even worse.
Yeah, I think so.
I
think so. And then Paul Beatty says England could end up with 6 or 7 Champions League places. What a joke. Bring back the 3 European competitions that all meant something. Now, Philip, I was going to ask you a question, but I'm actually going to, put it into this. And I'm sorry, my spelling is awful. And we did try to change it. But anyway, Philip, your favourite European night. Now, I know everyone can say Ajax for the Champions League semi-final, right?
Yeah.
I want to park that to one side.
Right.
What has been your most memorable European night? And you've seen a few. Yeah. What is your number one night?
Tony Parks. 1984 shootout against Anderlecht in the UEFA Cup final, I think. I mean, I remember watching that TV. We were living in an area now where the TV reception wasn't great. And you know, when you're watching TV, it's like it's snowing on the screen. I remember pressing my face up. I could hardly even see it. But when I heard the roar of the crowd, I knew Tony Parks had saved the penalty. That's my favourite memory.
For me, it would have to be 84, Philip. But what was it like back in 71, winning the UEFA Cup, being the first English side to win 72, two different European trophies?
Well, that was interesting because in 72, I don't know if anybody's ever heard, I'm sure the older fans have heard of this, a guy called Hunter Davis followed the Tottenham side round for that entire 71-72 season. He was given unlimited access, really, to the club, which is quite strange, really. Back in those days, that was quite a new thing. And he wrote a book called The Glory. I think it's Glory Game or Glory Day. I can't remember what it was anyway. But it was a fly on the wall, and it ended up at the final in the UEFA Cup in Wolverhampton, right? The first leg of the Cup, Wolverhampton, and all the Spurs players were saying was, "Jesus Christ, we've gone round the whole of Europe this season, and we end up in bloody Wolverhampton for the final, for the first leg of the final." They wanted to go somewhere more exotic, you know. But that was the night Martin Chivers scored that absolute rocket in the first leg, and then we won. We drew at home in the second leg and won the UEFA Cup. So it was a bit of an anticlimax. But if anyone can look at that Hunter Davis book, it is absolutely a riveting read. And it even goes down to the thing of when they're in the dressing room, right? And this is a small thing, but shows you how tight things were money-wise at Tottenham. The players had to bring in their own shampoo and soap. The club did not supply any in the showers. Work that one out.
Yeah, that's true. Kate's saying here his legacy is with 1,000 trophies. He's achieved them all at a mid. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And she also says James' legacy is worth more than 1,000 trophies. He's achieved them all. Yeah. And then she also said Kane's legacy. All right, she was getting it right. Yeah. We've got we've got Lynn here said talking about Kane's complaining about the dressing room. Well, he has been there long enough to cheer up other players. To be honest, I don't see him being much of a leader.
No, I disagree with that. I don't think he was complaining. I think he was just saying things as it is.
Yeah,
you know, like Harry Kane is a moral leader. He leads by example. He mightn't be a shouter and a roarer and gesticulating at players and that, but I have great respect for Harry Kane. I mean, let's face it. I can't understand living here in Ireland, right? If Harry Kane was the captain of the Irish national team, they'd have him canonized. He'd be a saint by now. But over in England, because of his attitude with the likes of the Liverpool fans hate him. Most fans hate him. I cannot understand how the captain of the England football team is so badly hated. It just doesn't work out for me, you know. No. I'm just going to stop for a second here, Dermot. I see you take this call.
Yeah, no problem. We've got a question here from Audio Ashton. He says, how much longer do you think Kane will be captain of England? If Rice makes a big move, I can see him being given the armband. Well, look, I hope Declan Rice can do what he wants, to be fair. The story behind that is he came through the ranks in the Ireland setup up to Ireland 21. I don't know if he made an international appearance for Ireland. I don't know if it was either him or the Man City player did. I forget his name off the top of my head. But look, for me, they can do what they want. I don't think he will replace Harry Kane as captain. I think Harry Kane as captain, he leads by example. He leads by goals. He leads by the way he prepares for a game. He leads how he trains. Harry Kane's not a shouter. He's not a brawler. He doesn't go around and a bit like a Graham Roberts or a Steve Perriman to go in there or a Martin Peters go in there and have you up by the scruff of the neck and what the hell are you doing? He leads by example, Harry Kane. Look, for me, as good as Declan Rice is, I don't think he will replace Harry Kane as captain unless Harry Kane retires, and then But no, look, a lot of people may disagree with what I'm saying. A lot of people like me says, but a captain needs to have for that persona. Harry ain't got that. Yeah, and I agree with that. I know where you're coming from, but for me, look, for me, it is what it is. Ellie's saying Declan Rice, don't you dare mention Ireland and his name in one breath, Ellie. He's Judas. He's our Judas. That man. He can do what he wants. I don't want him or Grealish anywhere mentioned. Them two are Judas. Declan Rice and how do you feel about them two, Philip? This was the question. It was a great question, actually, by audio. Absolutely fantastic. He said, "How much longer do you think Kane will be captain of England? If Rice makes a big move, I can see him giving the armband." Look, I made the point,
I don't think so.
but I made the very point, Philip, of he came through the ranks to the Ireland setup. Was it him or Grealish that made an international appearance for us?
Rice, I think it was.
Yeah,
no, I could be wrong on that. No, I could be wrong.
But they turned their back on their
It
country.
was a friendly. Yeah, he's a Jew. I don't want him anymore. Tottenham,
No.
and that's being captain of England, not a chance. Harry Kane will be captain of England until he retires.
Yeah,
that's it. They're not going to take the captain's armband off a record goal scorer. No chance.
No. Yeah. There's got a lot of people. This to start off a little bit. Kate saying Rice is a knob. Yeah. No, mind you, I saw a video of him the other day, and he went over to this young little West Ham fan who was bawling his eyes out. Absolutely, but he's meeting his idol.
Right.
And he promised his shirt to one of the Arsenal players or one of the Man United players, to Rashford. And Declan Rice, I will give him this. Declan Rice took his shirt off and gave it to the young lad. He was crying. He says, "Don't worry."
I mean,
I'll
he's
give
not all
him
bad. He's not all bad.
I've seen him do stuff like that on the side of the pitches where he went over to this young girl with Down syndrome and he gave her a shirt and then he got her to come in and meet all the players and he got all the players to sign the shirt for her.
Right.
You know, things like that. But the way he turned away from his country, you don't do that. That's what's put,
I know I can't see Levy paying 100 million for any player anyway. So
no. We've got David Hutchison. It says his favourite was Spurs to AC Milan semi-final.
Yeah, that was a good one as well. Yeah, that was.
And question would you give up Harry Kane to win a trophy next season?
Oh God, the problem there is if we give up Harry Kane, we probably won't win the trophy. If you know what I mean, let's replace him well. So that's a very, very hard question. You know. Oh God. I don't know.
I'm going to be controversial here. I'm not going to say yes.
I'll tell you, I would give him up if we were guaranteed to win the title. I wouldn't give him up for anything less. I wouldn't give him up for the League Cup. I wouldn't give him up for the FA Cup. I'd give him up for the league title. Yeah. Reluctantly.
Yeah. Big off. No, he's worth more than one trophy. Spurs Ninja. He reckons Kane will be England captain until he's not starting.
That's more or less what I'm saying. Yeah.
Mia said yes. I'll give up Kane for a trophy, 100%.
Did you give up Romero?
Kate said no way. Kane is irreplaceable. Yeah. Pennywise, pound foolish. I haven't heard that saying for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got Ellie says, I was slating Rice by making that crypto. Yes, he is a Judas. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Hello, the Irish Hotspur. Oh, is he in?
Oh, royalty.
Yeah, I knew he'd come in. Ellie, Rice is a traitor. I knew. Hang on. I did hear rumblings from Kildare. Big up, David. And thanks for joining in, sir.
Hi, David.
Big up. Mia says, where's she at? He is the ultimate professional. Don't get me wrong. David, you're in the chat. Let us know. Would you give up Harry Kane to win a trophy? I'd love to know his reaction actually to that.
I say the steam coming out of his ears now at this stage.
Yeah. Wow, your fans are so fickle. What Kane has done for the club, you give him off for silverware. Disgusting. No, I give up Romero for a trophy as well. There you go. See of Mia. Yeah. Jim says, I would never give up Harry Kane. He's Mr. Spurs. Yeah. I always say to him, Philip, he's our Jimmy Greaves of our generation, to be fair.
Yeah.
Philip, I think we're going to end it there, sir. We've had a great show. We've got the podcast coming out later. Do you want to explain to people what the podcast is going to be about? It's going to be slowly on this topic.
It's mainly on the new proposition for the proposals for the new Champions League format. What do we think of it? What's the ins and outs? So what's the pros and the cons? Is it purely a backdoor version of the Super League that fell apart a couple of years ago? And I think it's going to be a very controversial subject, and I think we both know what our views on it are. And I'm not in favour of it. I don't think Dermot is either.
No.
But we'll go through all the pros and cons and see what we come up with. But it's a money making campaign by the clubs that didn't get their way the first time around.
Look, I was toying the idea of doing it as a live podcast, but we've decided to do it as a pre-record because it gives us time to give you more of a more balanced argument and let you enjoy see what Paul's put in the chat.
What's that? Oh yeah, well I think we'd all do that. Yeah, I will do that. Yeah, I give him up for the the North London Tiddlywinks League. I think we'll give him up for that.
Yeah. Kate, Kate, calm down. It's just a question. Blimey. It's disrespectful to the man who's. Look, I think she's having.
I know. I think we're. It's a difficult question because it's a very difficult question.
It is.
There's no correct answer to it.
No,
there's no correct answer.
Look, we've hit. I tell you what, Philip. I asked to hit 20 likes. We have hit 20 likes.
Very good. Very good.
So, Kuva says I'll give up one of my kids.
Oh dear! Right, okay. This is getting a bit out of hand now.
Oh dear! Kane is missing. Look, very last question, Philip, and I've got one question for you here, and then we will finish up. With all the money that's gone into the game, Philip, with the new Champions League, it's like a Super League. With the Premier League, how it's gone, how the players are. I know how I had the question was this: has the game we love died? Maybe I want to rephrase this. Has the game that we once knew died?
It's not dead, right? But depending how the Champions League thing pans out over the next couple of years, for a lot of the clubs, it could be on life support because they're not going to have the access to the players they need, the funding they need, or whatever. So the game we have, I would say maybe died is too strong a word. It's certainly changed a hell of a lot over the last 10 years and will continue to change. And not all change is good. And I think this is not good change. Oh, he's gone. Dermot's disappeared. I don't know what's happened in there. Anyway, I think we'll probably carry on with that topic on a different show, how the game we love died. I think we have to finish up this one now.
No, sorry, I was just taking a phone call. I'm just in the middle. Just had a phone call, Philip.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
No, I was just saying though, it's just that the game we haven't. It's not died, but it's on life support due to these new changes. You know.
All right. Do you want to read out some of the comments just very quickly, Philip, just to finish off, and then I'll be back to you straight away.
Okay. Now, where do we finish off with the comments? Okay. Mia said she gave it one of her kids for the FA Cup as well. God, you're a cruel lot. You really are. Ellie saying that's going to be some show. Will spark some reactions as us fans are no fools. We know what is disguised. Yeah, true. Absolutely. Champions League by a different name. Super League by a different name. And the next comment. Sorry, I was trying to move down here. My comments are flying in here. Danielle Sandoval is saying, big up to all one love. Yeah.
Sorry about that, Philip. Sorry, Tesco's rang me at the wrong time.
Kuva 99 saying, best comment of the day. Yeah. Most controversial one, anyway.
It was.
Jim Boxall is saying, Kuva 99, oh my effing God, I think I have weed a bit laughing. Oh dear. And Ellie's laughing at Mia there. What's she doing to Mia? There's a lot of different signs up there. And let's see, the last few is.
I like Kuva's comment, Philip, and I'll bring it up. So that one there.
The EPL destroyed football. That was the original Super League.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, that's 30 years ago. That happened, 31 years ago.
Look. My view in it very quickly, Philip. My opinion is this: look, the game has died. It's not the game we know, what we knew.
Yeah, but died means permanently gone.
Yeah.
Whereas this isn't permanently gone, but it's heading that way. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, I'd say it's yeah. Paul Beatty's actually not dead, but changed to suit the people who never liked football in the first place.
Yeah.
It was a nice little niche of madness. Now it's all So that's more or less it. I mean, if it was dead, we wouldn't have any games to look forward to.
Look, I was put up for adoption when I was born, and we got relegated. So what does that say about me? Right. On that point.
On that point, I think it's time to go. Oh.
We've got Carl said, I know Mia trusts him. Ellie said, Mia, I'm adopting 2 children now. Oh my God. All right. Well, there you go.
There you go.
Listen, Philip, thank you so much indeed for today. I hope we will be back later with the podcast.
Yeah.
And look, please hit that like button, hit the subscription button on the way out. Do please pick up a membership if you can. It really does help us grow, and also it does help. It's $2.99. I know it's probably a loaf of bread. And I know times are hard out there. We do appreciate that, and we do try to bring up everyone's comment as well, as you see. But we do these shows for you to make you entertained, so we can entertain you as Spurs creators and you as Spurs fans. But the people that help with the memberships, it does help us grow. It helps the channel grow. It helps us get better equipment. It helps us get better graphics. So next season we can be bigger and better to bring you better shows, bring you better graphics when we're doing debates or watch-alongs. So it does really help. It really, really does. But thank you all. Philip, do you want to say anything quickly before we go?
No, you said it all there. You said it all.
Yeah.
Like, we try to keep things a little light-hearted at times, because I think there's a lot of serious stuff going on in the background, and we give our own slant on it with a bit of humor. And let's hope that come the end of the season, we have everything we wish for.
Yeah. Very quickly before we end, I would like to show you Philip leaving his house after this show.
Arsenal fan.
That was Philip leaving after the show, and what Mrs. I'm thinking, he's lost it.
Oh,
anyway, Mia says, big up Mia. She says, smash that like button, guys. You know you want to. Thank you all. Thank you so much. And then Colin saying, remember, if you don't, at least like the stream. I would send you. Oh dear.
Right.
Well, listen, thank you all for watching. We've had a blast as always. We're back tonight with the podcast, which will be out probably about 8 or 9 o'clock. So look out for that. We're back then tomorrow with the pre-match show. Tottenham Villa against Spurs. Whatever you do, enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Come on, you Spurs. In Tottenham we trust.
Exactly.